What is going on, everybody? Um, Sorry for the tardiness here. A couple technical difficulties. Accidentally spilled soda into my computer, and that caused a whole hell of a lot of problems.
Oh, hey, well, we on, JT. We on. This is about to be a good night, man. It's about
And
to be.
we are,
We're about to give our viewers some good content, man. We about to talk some Bills talk, man. We're gonna turn this around to a great thing, man.
that's it. That's it. Um, so where do we start here with this game, man? Another game of highs and lows for the Buffalo Bills. Um, I don't even know where to begin as far as where we ended and falling to 6-6 with another late loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, 37-34 in overtime. So many miscues, so many chances to win this football game, and once again we came up short, which now has Bills coach Sean McDermott on the hottest seat that he's been on since arriving to Buffalo, if we can ever say he was ever on a hot seat before this. We've answered some questions on offense, and as we've done that, now we've have questions about the defense. And yeah, I mean, basically we're sitting at 6-6, James. So I mean, where do you want to start with this game? You want to start with offensive side, or you want to start with defensive side?
Let me tell you this, JT. I don't want to start on offensive side or the defensive side. I want to start on special teams
Okay.
because we lost this game based off special teams, in my opinion. Um, we've talked about the shortcomings of Josh Allen. We talked about the shortcomings of defensive players. We've talked about people we talked about Sean McDermott. We talked about Dorsey. We need to have a discussion.
Hold on, James. You cut out. You cut out now.
I cut out again.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. But we talked about everybody with shortcomings, from coaches to players. We talked about Dorsey. We talked about McDermott. The people that that's been a trending topic. We need to talk about Tyler Bass. We need to have a discussion about Tyler Bass.
Yeah.
Tyler Bass recently he's missed some kicks. He's allowed to miss kicks. He not saying he's perfect, but as of late, just like Josh Allen when he missed throws, people question it. Now we need to say, hey, Tyler Bass, you need to step your game up, man. That's something that's important. I know the one was blocked. Then he missed one. That hurts, man. That's 6 points. We're not having this conversation right now, JT. That's 6 points. Tyler Bass has to be better. He has to be better. And also our special teams unit overall has to be better. We had a costly penalty by Saran Neal, and I know the officiating was suspect in this game, but Saran Neal had a costly penalty with the hands to the face, right, on the punt. So special teams unit, they have some things. There's some things to answer. That's what I want to start off with. JT, you got any feelings or comments in regards to special teams?
I mean, I believe that we've went from one of the best special teams units in the NFL to one of the worst.
Yep.
Over a course of one off season. We don't have a dynamic kick returner. You inactivated Hardy for this game, so you didn't have a dynamic punt returner. And your kicker, who you just signed as Tichter, is struggling. And your punter continues to punt line drives. So as I stated before, over a matter of an off season, we went from one of the best, if not the best, special teams unit in the NFL to one of the absolute worst. And you can't win football games that way. You've said it on this show countless times, and I have to agree with you. 3 phases of football: offense, defense, and special teams. And right now we're failing on special teams really bad. So I'll have to say that. As far as the loss goes, another game where we blew a late game lead.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're talking 10 points. You're talking about a team that's a true Super Bowl contender. You don't keep blowing 10-point leads.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't necessarily know if that's a McDermott thing. I don't know if that's a Josh Allen thing. I can't tell you who it is right now. Maybe it's a mental thing with this team. I don't know. But what I do know is if they don't turn around, there's going to be a lot of things that got to change. A lot of things. And this is probably the first time that I'm questioning. And I'm sorry, I want to get your comments on the screen. My mouse is having technical difficulties now. This is probably the first time that I'm questioning. Maybe it is a chance to change Sean McDermott. Maybe you need a new voice. And it has nothing to do with his coaching or what he's done for the organization. It has to do with it's something up with this team, and I can't figure it out. And I don't know if he can figure it out. But it continues to happen.
Yeah, I mean, if it's valid, I mean, me personally, I think heck no comes to mind when we say that. But this is what we do, JT. We got to have a conversation. If people's talking about it, we got to have a conversation, even though I totally disagree with it. I think it comes down to a point where players have to make plays, right? My job as an All-American football player was to make my OC right. If he called the bad play, my job was to make him right? And I think we have to do more of that. We need people to do more of that, right? You're not always going to be in the perfect position. You got to make plays. And a 10-point lead, to me, as a player, I'm not letting you come back. I don't give a damn how bad the game is called. I'm not letting you come back. Pride has to kick in for some of these guys as well, where you have to, when we got somebody beat, we got to finish the job, right? You got to keep your foot on the gas. You don't let up at all, right? So that I think that's a thing that's something we got to work out, whatever that may be. But I don't think getting rid of Sean McDermott. We'll talk about where I feel the team is right now. And I don't think getting rid of Sean McDermott is the answer at all.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, this is a difficult show for me because as much as I like to think I have answers for this teams, I'm out of them.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that, like you just said, players have to execute and make plays. There's only so much far that coaching takes you. Everybody gets damn near the same coaching in NFL.
Yeah.
And some people make plays, some people don't. So if my next question is, if it's the execution, if it's the players, and we want to, per se, make some changes and make head rolls, then we have to start talking about Brandon Beane. You know, I mean, we can't continue to do this. It's no way that this can continue. We literally crumble in the fourth quarters of the game. Literally crumble.
Yep.
Or we make games a lot closer than what they need to be versus
Absolutely.
teams that we should be smashing.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
At some point, somebody has to answer for that. And I can tell you who's not going to answer for it. It's not going to be Josh. It's not going to be Stephon Diggs. It's not even going to be Von Miller. Because even if you want to make them answer for it, contractual-wise, salary cap-wise, you can't.
Yeah.
So we're at a crossroads. We're simply at a crossroad. And I want to get some of these comments up, people. I'm sorry, my mouse seems to be malfunctioning, but I'll read some of them off. Rob says, how is every week? That has to be better. has to be better. That this has to be better. Why can't it just all click? I don't know.
That's the it. That's the it that nobody has an answer to right now, right? For everybody. And for me, I look at it from a player's perspective. I've been saying this for weeks, right? I'm okay with what's happening right now, the adversity. It may sound weird. I'm okay with it. Because right now you finding out who the hell is who's gonna fold, who's gonna stand up to the challenge, and what people are made of. This is when you find out the character of your team. So when hopefully we get into the playoffs. If we can get into the playoffs, this team will know who's who. Teams that's not really and face that adversity, they don't know, right? So I think that the Bills, I think we're in a good place, man, in regards to being able to fix it. Not
Hold
good.
On, I think we both cut out. I don't know what just happened. Everything just went like haywire just now. Go ahead, continue your point.
Yeah, but as a team, I'm not. I mean, we 6-6. You are who you are, right? And I'm not worried like a lot of fans. I think about it from a player's perspective, right? Think about this. We went into the playoffs at 13-3, JT. How did that work? It didn't, right? It didn't get that Super Bowl result. What about adversity and we going in with our backs against the wall and how this team gonna respond? This team may respond and win the damn Super Bowl. Because right now, you know how guys are going to respond in adverse situations. You're learning. The only way to get better in these situations is for it to happen to you to learn from it, right? Where your mom could tell you that the stove is hot, right? But you always gonna be like, how hot is it? You're gonna get closer and closer. When you get burned, you ain't gonna let that junk happen again. And right now, that's what's happening, man. I mean, we're learning a lot of lessons. It sucks, but we are. And I've been saying it for weeks, JT. At some point in time, we got to win 4 games. Now is the time to get hot. If we get hot now, it's a wrap. I'm telling y'all that now. If we get hot, it's a wrap. It's on. And I don't know why people think it's like a prereq for you to be like, I think we could be in a good spot, but we got to bounce back. The bye week can come at a better time.
Right.
So, what's your feelings on the current state of the team, JT?
Like I said, this is probably out of this regime's first 7-8 years. This is the first time that I'm really just unsure about what's going to happen here. Mm-hmm. I don't want to see this team be broken apart. I still think they're really close. I still have confidence in Sean McDermott as being that guy. But this is a business. And when we start talking about the business of football, that's the ugly side. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And with that being said, I don't know. I don't know what's coming. I don't know what's going to happen. I got a couple questions. Shout out to my guy, Aaron Williams, A-Dub in the house. He wants to know what's our opinion on Josh's decision-making. Do you feel like he forces plays to happen, unlike what he did a couple years ago? I feel like he feels the pressure's on to do too much. And it's almost the way that when Brian Dable was here, this is how we played football. Everything was on Josh. And this is probably the first time that I can say, hey, we actually have a roster that he does not need to do that anymore. And I think that was the reason that we switched play callers mid-season. It's not something that you normally see from a team that's a Super Bowl contender to switch play callers mid-season. And I think we've seen a difference. And what's funny about it is Sean McDermott has been asking for a run game, a dedicated run game the past 3 seasons. So now that we see Joe Brady actually dedicating to the run game. Make sure he's using Latavius Murray. Make sure that he's using James Cook. That's a McDermott thing. But now the defense ain't playing well in the second half. And maybe that's because maybe it's starting to rear. Shows ugly head that we're missing an all-pro in Trey White, that we're missing an all-pro in Matt Milano, that Micah Hyde is still banged up. Okay. Yeah. Jordan Poyer has somewhat lost a step. So now maybe it's to the point now where we're realizing, like, listen, we're at a major crossroads.
Yeah.
Which way are we depend on the offense or we depend on the defense? Because we have those special teams you need to depend on right now. Don't expect the big play for the special teams. We lost Naeem Hines before the season began. So we can't expect return.
Yeah.
So, man.
You see what happened last week, JT? Did you realize that botched punt?
You did. You said it before the game began.
You see what happened? He dropped one. He picked it up. He dropped one.
Yeah. Maybe it just comes down to mentality. Because when you look at the core of this team, they have it. It's not like they don't have it. I was proud of the way that team played in the first half versus Philly. They pretty much squashed them and didn't let them get anything. Yep. But then we turned around in the second half, not even second half, the last 15 minutes of the football game. And we let them completely off the hook in the words of Dennis Green.
Yeah.
One interception and it's steamroll. And then we come back, we drive down the field, and we score. RPO, Gabe Davis, boom. All we got to do is stop them. But just like New England, just like Denver, and now Philly, we let them come down the field, and we let them score again. Game over. And I'm sorry, I got a question for you, James. I know a lot of people have questions about the pass to Gabe Davis. And no one in the media could seem to figure out who ran the wrong route. Was it Gabe? Was he supposed to run the post corner? Or was Josh supposed to throw it to the post corner? Did Josh throw where he's supposed to go? Gabe Davis go? Where do you think that route was supposed to go?
It's hard to say. It's hard. But if there's no safety over the top, I would think that Gabe Davis would take that release and look for the ball right away and not run that corner route. But it's hard to say what the scheme would be and what's his responsibility on that. That was a tough one. If Josh waits, he really couldn't wait a half a millisecond longer. He would have seen where he's going to get a redirected that pass. That was a tough one, man. Like that one's still sitting right here in my gut. But also speaking of Gabe Davis, that's what's frustrating about him, man. That dude got ability, right? He flashed again where it's like, dude, you can play. You know what I mean? It's like, where the heck does this be for 3-4 weeks at a time? It's so frustrating with him, man. I ain't gonna lie, it's very frustrating. But that play could have ended it, man. And you can't blame that on McDermott. I mean, you just can't. I mean, like that lack of communication, that's not on McDermott. I mean, he put us in position to win. The Bills are in position to win. If the Bills win that game, that little play, that little miscommunication happens, and go ahead and go win it in overtime. I think it was, and that decision, I loved the decision. Me personally, I did.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, then there's questions. We have to answer the question about Sean McDermott. So, and I know my man A. Will's watching. And A. Will, I got a question for you. And I know I can't put the comments on the screen with the mouse malfunction right now, but how does a team become a second half football team at the moment? I would actually like to know that from your perspective. If you can give me that answer, because obviously something I'm not NFL locker room, never been there, don't know. I know James, you have more perspective on that too. Even A. Will says that they're not a second half team at the moment. How do you become that? How do you close? Because this is what we signed Von Miller for.
It comes down to execution. It comes down to a mentality, right? It comes down to
I lost you. I lost you.
I'm back.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, y'all, but but you got a guy like Stephon Diggs. You got to have more dudes in the mentality like that, like go-getter mentality, right? Not no sit back, let's see what happened type of thing. No, hell no. Let's go get it, right? Have dudes with that mentality. The Josh Allens, right? Terrell Bernard got that. So I think it's more of a mentality. That's what I think. Just finish. That's got to be in your mind. Finish.
Do you think that when this thing start happening and it happens over and over again, it just shakes your confidence?
It depends on the person.
And you get to the last 3 minutes of the game, you're just like, oh man, here we go again. We're in the same spot right now again.
It depends on you as an individual. If you're mentally fragile, then yes. Yes, I'm back.
Yeah, you may want to turn your Wi-Fi on. I think maybe that's probably it.
All right, I'll adjust that. But what? Let's see. But I'm gonna do that in 1 second, y'all. But like for me as a player, I don't give a damn what happened in the past. Give me the ball. I'm making the play. Like F all that. That got nothing to do with the right now. You get what I'm saying? So that I'll never understand people that think that way. I don't think when people say the psyche, that mean you're just mentally fragile if that's the case. We living in the moment. We playing in the moment. We can't worry about last game, right? Or last time, right? No, we talking about this time, and I'm gonna make the play, and we're gonna win this game. Period. That's the mentality you gotta have. So for me, I'll say no. So, but I think it depends on who you are, as a player.
Right. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what it is. My man A. Will does say, don't change what's broken. Keep doing what worked in the first half and have backup plans in case plan A stops working. I'm going to read some of these comments off right now. Paul Carroll says, halfway through Josh's career, if they can't win it this year, it's time to fire the whole staff and start over. You know what? 2 weeks ago to say, hell no. Right now, I'd say, listen, I'm still not necessarily on board with it, but I can listen to it right now. I can hear it.
To me, right now, it's still very emotional. Because let's be real here. You're going to be due to take a step back. Just because you got Josh Allen, that'll mean every single year there's going to be years in his career that we don't make the playoffs. I mean, that's just the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's going to be years where you don't make the playoffs. I think, people are a little unrealistic at times. You're going to take a step back sometimes. You go draft well, and then that next season you bounce back. I hope we don't miss the playoffs at all. Don't get me wrong. But just look at how things work out sometimes. I mean, you may miss the playoffs. If Josh Allen if he plays for the Bills for 15 years, right, and we miss the playoffs 3 out of those 15 years, would anybody say that's a failure? Hell no. Hell no. So there's going to be times when you miss the playoffs. I mean, it happens. It's the NFL. You have some injuries. You have some things that just don't go right. But my thing is with that, I think it's a very emotional decision to talk about firing him. Him being on the hot seat going to the next year, depending on how the season ends, is fair because if we could still make a run and go win the Super Bowl, all this right now is emotional decisions. You get what I'm saying? Now, for the Bills in 6 and 11, that's a totally different story. But where we currently sit, I don't think it's a discussion to be had, me personally, because with that change, who are you going to get that's better? I mean, that's my thing. Like you say, fire them. People, these emotional ass decisions. You fire them and then what? You got to get somebody that's a guaranteed upgrade. If not, it's all for nothing. You're going to go get another rookie head coach where you think he's going to be the answer, where people want you go get an offensive-minded coach, rookie guy, or don't have much experience. Anybody that's got a ton of experience, I mean, who would you think? I mean, I know you and I have had conversations. I'm talking about fans, right? And then you got to realize if you bring a new head coach in, he's got all McDermott guys. McDermott and Bean picked these guys. Wonder if he don't gel with them. Now you're taking 2 steps back and from where you are initially instead of fixing what the problem is with McDermott. Whatever he knows best what the problem is, fixing that and taking another run at it as opposed to removing McDermott, right? bringing in a new guy where he may not mesh with some guys. Now he's getting guys out, he following them out. Is stuff going on in the locker room? Then you like, no, you can't. It's not Madden, people. Like it's human emotion. Like them guys are McDermott guys for the most part. If you make a change, man, it's no guarantee it's going to work out. It's just not. You have to realize that.
I'm sorry. And finally, my mouse randomly started working. So, and now it's not working again. I did get some of the comments on the screen though. But no, I don't know, man. I just tend to feel that you do have to think about making a change. And like I said, I'm a Sean McDermott guy. But when I look through the history of the game, nowadays people are more apt to make this change faster than they were about 10 years ago. On one hand, we could look at this and we could say, look at people like Tom Coughlin and say, hey, stay the course, you eventually get it done. But then you look at somebody like Marvin Lewis and you say, well, you can stay the course and you may never get it done. But then if you fire this man, like I said in the previous show, you could look at, and you could take Andy Reid, you could take Tony Dungy as two prime examples to say, listen, did we react too early? Did we not stay? Should we have stayed the course when these people went the other way and got Super Bowl other places? So it's a catch-22, man. But Adam Schefter said today that he's expecting 7 to 10 coaching changes at the conclusion of this season. So maybe it's a period where you say, listen, there's gonna be a lot of guys available. There may be a Jim Harbaugh available. There will be a Bill Belichick possibly available. There may be Eric Bieniemy, that name keeps popping up, but possibly available. And I'm just gonna say this right now: if you're one of those people that are screaming, Frank Wright, Frank Wright, Frank Wright, he is the wrong one, baby. In my reference to that 90s commercial, the right one, baby, Frank Wright, do not miss me with the Frank Wright talk. If you want to bring him as a quarterback's coach or offensive analyst, I'm fine with that. But please don't, no. If you're going to go Frank Wright, I'll stay right here, right where I'm at.
The only person, he won't be available. The only person I would entertain that for is Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin's decent. That's decent.
He's not going anywhere. But I'm just saying. Right. Otherwise, no other coach is a guaranteed upgrade. Because even if you mention Belichick, everybody don't work with Belichick, man. Everybody does not work with Belichick. You got to be. It won't work. He got to have a certain type of locker room. And you think it just won't. So it's just, my thing is, who are you going to get?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry, I got this comment stuck on the screen. My mouse would cut out again. I probably shouldn't have put the comment up there. But let's go through some more of these questions. Sean Derek Thompson says, no killer instinct, put your foot on their throat. Dave Gove says, team takes on the mentality of the leader. Coach is soft, team is soft. We got some dogs, but we didn't need a dog coach. Hey, listen, that's not a bad analogy.
I never thought, but I have not seen soft. I think that's the wrong word. I haven't seen soft at all. I haven't seen.
I don't think the team is soft, but I do think at times like if you go back to Rex Ryan's Bills team and Sean McDermott's Bills team, and obviously there's a difference with the wins and losses. Okay. I think that there's a different mentality. This is the first year that I've seen this defense have a mentality that I thought that it was tough, really, it was showing toughness. This is the first year. So
yeah, I just can't. I can't go with the word soft. That one, it's different direction. Ryan type of teams, yes. Soft, hell no. I'm far from that. That never even crossed my mind with these teams.
Right. Man, A-Will says, let's just play hypothetical real quick. Let's say the Bills fire McDermott. Are they going to give Airbnb a chance?
I don't think so.
Why not? I'm not saying
I don't think
they won't.
The reason, and I could be wrong, I could be wrong. I don't think they will go to first-year head coach.
You think they're going veteran?
I think you will have to with this type of locker room. I think.
I kind of feel like it would be conservative route. If you're going to keep Brandon Beane on board, because like I said, I still think if you go for Bill Belichick or a Harbaugh or someone like that, if you fire McDermott and you give one of those coaches his job, they're going to want full control, which means you're not going to be able to keep Brandon Beane unless he's going to take some type of reduced role. Now, we saw Howie Roseman do it in Philadelphia when they brought in who they brought in for the GM last year. Was it Modrak?
Was it?
No, Chip Kelly. When they brought Chip Kelly in, Howie Roseman took a reduced role.
But now Howie got control again.
Right, but then Howie took his job back after Chip Kelly got
fired. I forgot about that. You're right.
Ain't no saying that Brandon Beane is going to sit there and take no reduced role.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. He did that.
Because I tell you what, I'll give you this. You fire McDermott and you fire Brandon Beane, they may stay as a tandem and go to San Diego. I mean, not San Diego, Jesus. Los Angeles Chargers, just saying. So I think that the Bills will look at Bieniemy if he's available, but I still think Bieniemy is going to get that Washington job. Everything in me tells me he's going to get that Washington job, and he knew he had a very good chance to get that job when he went there.
Yeah, so, probably.
Let's let me go through more. Paul Carroll says, "Don't fire Josh. I mean, fire staff, meaning coaches." Bain. Stevie Franchise, my man, says, "Why do it feel like the Bills are cursed?" I don't know, man. I feel you. I'm right with you. Paul Carroll says, "I just don't understand how McDermott has been here 9 years. I just don't believe his philosophy or his strategy anymore." Charles Madison says, "Good, interesting comment talking about Eric Bieniemy. It's already reported that Washington players would not endorse him as a head coach." I did hear that. Let's see. My man Trigg says, "You can look at Chuck Knox or Marty Schottenheimer examples too, as far as long-term coaches and longevity." And Kyle Yeager says, "We spent the defensive piece. Then the unluckiest injuries happen. And it's obvious we need the wide receiver 2 and younger safeties. We need to hit on 2 or 3 draft picks next year." Can't agree more.
Yeah.
But I guess my question would be is, if you feel that you're 2 or 3 hits away from draft picks, would you blow it up? Because you made an interesting point a couple minutes ago, James, when you said if you bring another guy in, these are McDermott guys, they may not want him. When McDermott took this job, Doug Whaley left a pretty solid roster in Buffalo that Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane did not want. And they ended up trading off a lot of pieces for assets to get the players that they wanted in-house. And that could happen again. It's just that now coming in, you're a little bit more salary cap strapped than you were when those guys took over. They didn't inherit the team in great salary cap space, but it wasn't going to be $20 million in the red either.
Yeah. With me, it's a lot different scenario because you come in over to somewhere. We've been in the playoffs, what, 4 to 5, last 5 years. It's a different type of culture than it was at that time. It's like you came in with a nothing to lose type of thing. It's a whole lot to lose where you got a elite quarterback, right? Nobody got time to be missing it to playoff. Put it like this. McDermott gets a 1-year pass to miss the playoffs this year. If that was to happen, I'm hoping it don't happen because I think this team could do something. He may get a 1-year pass and he on the hot seat. And if this is type of situation, he won't last 12 games if that's the case. You know what I'm saying? If it's 6-6, again, I just don't think now is the time. I just don't. I don't think, and the way the Pagulas move, I don't think so.
I mean, some people could say that he's been outcoached. And I guess I have to ask a question. Has he been outcoached? I know he's made
at times, yes. I just say yeah. Yeah, I think it's fair. That's more fair to say than he can't. When people say he can't get it done, I think he's had times where, I mean, Bill Belichick has had times where he was outcoached. to be real. I mean, it happens. I mean, all these dudes are professionals. Has he been out coached? Yes, at times. Yes. But he's embarrassed some people too now. Let's not get it twisted. McDermott has embarrassed some people too.
Yeah. Mike McDaniel early this season. So
yeah, exactly. He's embarrassed some people too now. Don't act like he's just out here, just people running circles around him. We got a brilliant mind, and that dude to put some shit together on defense at the same time. Don't sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting to see what transpires here with the this roster, because I just, like I said, I really don't know what they're going to do. I know my man. Let's see. There was a question about Sean Derrick says, "How do we get from under Von's contract?" The answer is you can't. You gotta wait till next year. You're stuck with that.
And after next year, how much comes off?
I think like maybe 15 million.
So we'll have 15 million still, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll still have 15 million.
Yeah.
I gotta get this off the screen. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's this is, like I said, this is a tough one. This is a tough segment, man. Because we're going into the bye week. We're 6-6. We got the Chiefs, then we got Dallas coming up. And we're in a must-win situation.
Oh, yeah, definitely must win. Definitely must win. Now, you beat those two teams, you 8-6. What conversation are we having there?
It's a different conversation. There's hope. There's faith restored, possibly. Maybe not all, but a lot. Like, if they would have won this game versus Philadelphia, this show tonight wouldn't be the way we're having this right now.
Totally different type of conversation, because they would be technically the 7th seed in week 12. They would have been the 7th seed. But that Chargers game scared me more than these next two coming up. That game scares me more.
Nothing to lose.
Yes, and a team that can put up points. They ain't got nothing to lose. You talking about Eckler? You talking about Keenan Allen? Those guys can put up. And then obviously Herbert has a big arm. That would scare me more than Dallas. Or, I mean, not saying these teams are bad. I'm not saying that at all, people. Please don't get this twisted. We got two big challenges ahead. I'm just saying, if we were hypothetically we win these two games, the whole conversation, everything changes. Literally, it all changes, and that's just the reality.
Yeah, but I guess you got to get there first.
Yep, exactly. It's all irrelevant. We got to get there first.
You got to get there first. So, the other question I want to talk about is Von Miller. You know, obviously, I think we're starting to see signs of life of Von, but nowhere near what we're gonna need to try to make a run back and end of the season.
Yeah.
So I got to ask the question: is how worried are you about Von Miller's recovery at this point in time?
How do I want to say this? It's not that big a deal to me right now because of Leonard Floyd. If Leonard Floyd wasn't playing good, it'd be a different story. I didn't expect a ton from him when he came back. I was more looking, and my brother will tell you, I was looking at Von. I'm like, I want to see what he looked like the last 4 games, right? About to play his way in the shape, in the form, gain that confidence, and I want to see how he looked then. Obviously, he hasn't looked too good, right? You could tell week by week he's getting a little better. So I'm anxious to see what he looks like coming out the bye. We gonna need him. We're gonna need him down the stretch, man. Like he's looking better. We're gonna need that to turn into production, like ASAP. But the worry thing, I'm not worried about it now. I think he could be still. I think he's still going to be a really, really good football player. I don't know how good this year, though, to be honest with you, JT.
All right. I'm gonna say this. I'm extremely worried. And the reason I'm extremely worried is because we're paying this guy over $20 million this season, and we restructure his deal in the offseason to free up more cap space to the point where we really can't get out of that until 2024, and it's still going to hurt.
Yeah.
And I understand that Leonard Floyd is playing great. The production we're getting from him is probably more than what we paid for, to be honest with you.
A lot more.
But we're paying Von Miller to close games out, just like that game we just played in Philly. And if we were talking about week 2, week 3, week 4, maybe week 7 or 8, I'd be like, I get it. He's still coming back. He's still trying to show those signs of life. We're in week 12, going into our bye week, week 13.
How many games he's played in? 6, 7?
He's played it since the Giants the first game back?
He came back week 5, right? He came back in London.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm extremely worried. And I'm more worried because there's nothing we can do to get out underneath that contract if we don't think he's going to show signs of life in that knee again. We're stuck.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it'll be him and Rousseau starting at the defensive ends next year. Nothing to talk about.
It's a money thing.
Yep.
We don't have a choice. So with that being said, yeah, I'm extremely worried. And do I think he'll rehab in the offseason? Yeah, I think he'll come back next year and be fine. But we're on the verge of possibly having our GM fired. We're on the verge of possibly having our head coach fired. We have Gabe Davis as a free agent. We have a lot of moving pieces and parts right now that we need him right now. And we knew coming into this season for this particular stretch, we needed him back and ready to go.
Agree.
It wasn't the first 8. It wasn't even the first 10. It was this particular 3-game stretch. Philly, KC, and Dallas. And all we can do is put him on the field for Catane.
Yeah.
So what if we do make this run and we get to the playoffs? And his knee's not back. Then what?
We're gonna need
how long can Leonard Floyd keep that up? We're really depending on Leonard Floyd. And Leonard Floyd's supposed to be our rotational piece. He was supposed to be our third down sack artist. And we're depending on him on early downs.
Yeah, and that wasn't what we initially brought him in for, yeah.
So at what point does he wear down?
You're right.
So if Von's not back and Leonard finally wears down, if he wears down, and you make it to the playoffs, then you have the same exact pass rush that you went into the playoffs with the last 3 years. And that did not work for us.
Yeah, it didn't. You're right.
So, yeah.
You're 100% right, JT. You're 100% right.
I don't know. Like I said, through other technical difficulties, we made it through this show tonight. I'm going to read some more comments. Cal Yeagers. Okay, well, let me go back up here. Ray Cruz says, hope Von decides to retire. Ray, that would be horrible. And I'm going to tell you why.
That would be even worse.
Because salary cap implication-wise, if he retires, that counts as a released player, technically. The Bills will incur about $20-something million in dead salary cap as a cap penalty. That would be the worst thing that could happen to them. Remember what happened with Eric Wood? He Wood retired because of the neck right after we gave him the extension, and we had to eat the bonus money as dead cap. That would be the worst thing that could happen for Buffalo with that. Donnell Lewis says, the next 5 games, we'll see what the Bills team is made of. All the games are winnable. Division, probably not. But I see them get to the playoffs. But Sean has to coach to win and not to lose. I agree.
I agree too.
And I mean, and that goes back to that 20 seconds before overtime. Decision to kneel out. What you think?
Like I said earlier in the show, I love it because that shows, hey, we gonna come whoop you. We gonna come beat you in overtime. Don't worry about it. We got you. I love the decision. Like I said, we had the opportunity. The game was there. I think it was a great decision. I'm totally cool with it.
Okay, I'm gonna say it like this, man. Do you think the Bengals or the Chiefs would have kneeled? 20 seconds. I'm just wondering. And one timeout.
That's tough. I think about the conditions, man. I think about a wide receiver slipping on the route. I think about a tackle kick stepping, and any dumb thing happen, and then people talking about we're cursed. We should have just kneeled. You can't win with some Bills fans. It's always something with them. Always something.
No. What I'm asking, regardless of conditions, do you think that the Bengals or the Chiefs would have kneeled on that ball with 20 seconds left and one timeout?
I would say that the Bengals. The Bengals might have. The Chiefs, I think, the way with the team they got now, I think they take a knee.
Okay, so because you said think, I don't think the Chiefs kneel at all. I've never seen them kneel with that much time left on the clock. And one timeout. And I agree. I agree with my man in the chat, Tony, that says we should have had 2 timeouts in 20 seconds. It was a bad timeout to ice the kicker, which I thought was. I agree with that. I don't 100% agree with that. You don't kneel on that ball. You have a $258 million quarterback that offense has put up 34 points in regulation. You don't kneel on that ball. I disagree with it. I don't think the Chiefs would have done it, and I don't think the Bengals would have done it. So if Joe Burrow not doing it and Pat Mahomes not doing it, neither should Josh Allen. So I disagree with that call. Now I would say that would be coaching scared, in my opinion.
That's fair. That's fair.
Somebody asks us how much is cap hit for cutting Von Miller. I don't know exactly what it is off the top of my head, but I know it's like dead cap of like 20 million, and maybe more than that, to be honest with you. Let's see. Charles Madison says, our best play I see from Von in Philly was he took the off tackle, drove him back to Hurts, forcing Hurts to Floyd. Hope the bye allows him to turn it up more. I agree. Like I said, I'm seeing signs of life, but we need to see him back sooner than later. Sydney Martini Jack says, I did not like the kneel. Norm Jones says, good point. How much time did they need last year in Detroit? That was like 24 seconds, wasn't it?
Yeah, they got down the field quick.
Yeah.
That's the good
one. Charlie Almer says we mismanaged a timeout. I agree. Rick Donato says the Chiefs didn't kneel with 13 seconds, but technically you couldn't. You were going to lose the playoff. That's a catch 22 there, Rick. That's funny. So, and then Kyle Yeager says, I'm sorry. So, what's the success percentage of a field goal in 20 seconds? A coin flip is 50%. Win the flip and score a touchdown. We almost did that. Right. We did almost do it. But the problem is almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. The Bills are 6-6 because we almost had a touchdown. And that's unfortunately the difference here. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Ray Cruz says 20 million dead cap. So, yeah, man. I think tonight was a different show. I think we'll be back next Tuesday at the end of the bye week. And I don't know, James. I don't know. All I will say is this: people get ready because, excuse my language, if season continues this way, there may be some heavy shit that goes down this offseason in Buffalo. And I, for one, don't really want to see it because I don't want to see the turnover because I thought we got away from the turnover that we've had for years. But it may be coming, whether we like it or not. Mal, final thoughts, man?
I think the bye week came at a perfect time. Regroup, get healthy. Because if you are going to make a run, now's the time to do it because you'll have to win. You'll be playing 9 games straight, right? It'll be 9 straight. And my thing is win 8 out of 9. Win 8 out of 9. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Listen, they can do it. I mean, hell, I don't think they should be 6-6.
Nah.
I think that the Denver loss was inexcusable. The New England loss was inexcusable. Those specific two were inexcusable. Right now, I said this is all hypothetical. We could be sitting here at 8-4 going into bye week, and this conversation is totally different.
Yep.
We're still talking about AFC.
And you gotta look at it. You look at it this way, JT. When you are 6-6, those weaknesses they really stand out, right? You can't overlook them. If you 8-4, a lot of the weaknesses we've done it in the past. We'll figure out a way outside of that. But now it's like you see I've been saying special teams for how long, JT? Now you're looking at it. Now it's a shining.
I think I lost James. But yeah.
I'm back.
It's gonna be tough. Yeah, you back now.
I cut out?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but it's a shining light on the safeties, right? When we've been talking for 2 seasons about we have to get more athletic back there, right? So now it's a shining light. So now we know what we have to do. We can't keep overlooking it. Now you address it one way or the other. So that's the good thing about it, where you know and you can work on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, man, it's going to be a lot of questions about this team. I think that when you go back and you recap these 6 losses, I'd probably say 2 of these losses may have been on coaching. I'd say another 2 of these 3 losses was on quarterback play. And I'd say one of the losses, the team simply just was on Roger Goodell and the team, the NFL, for experimenting with human beings and sending them over to London the week of and send the other team 2 weeks early.
Yeah.
So when you really look at these losses, I think that it ain't been on coaching. It has all been coaching because some of these games we lost and the defense didn't get a squat.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. So many questions, man. So many questions. So many just head scratching thing.
Yeah.
But hopefully they can take this bye week, rest, recharge, keep this offensive momentum they got going. Like I said, I don't know if Joe Brady's that good of offensive coordinator right now, or is this just the team doesn't have film on what he's running. We're gonna find that out sooner than later. But they got to get this right, man.
100% agree.
And I don't want to sound like a spoiled fan because, like I said, and I'll say it again, like I said before, what Sean McDermott has done for this franchise has been nothing short of amazing.
Yeah.
And I know that we all want a Super Bowl now because we haven't tasted one. But the fact that we even can be sitting here and be disappointed about what they're playing and if they're ex Super Bowl contender or not just goes to show the growth that this franchise has had.
Absolutely.
So one thing I won't do is I won't completely get up here and shit on Coach Sean McDermott. I won't do it. I can't do it because I know where we came from. I know where we were when he got here. Now, I think Doug Whaley was building a line. I think Doug Whaley set the seed, and I think Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane watered it. Okay, I will never, ever not give the Sean McDermott, Brandon Beane regime their credit. But I will say this: I will never give Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane their credit without giving Doug Whaley some credit before.
Yeah, absolutely. Because he has some ball. He left some ballers here.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, even if they trade, even though these guys trade bait to get the players they want, they still had assets to start with.
Absolutely.
More assets than the previous regime had than they came in and started with. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, man. Listen, that's the show for tonight, man. I know. Thank you guys for sticking up late with us. It's like 11 up to 11 p.m. Technical difficulties, broken mouses, audio's not working. I'll just make sure next week I'll keep my soda can away from my computer, and maybe I won't kick it over.
Hey, it happens to the best of us, JT.
So, but yeah, other than that, guys, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for sticking up late with us. I think we may do a show during the bye week. I'm not sure yet. We'll let you guys know if we're gonna do one during the bye week or not. If not, we may take a bye week ourselves, regroup and recharge. But hey, stay close to your phones. Let's see what happens. Hopefully, we see Leonard Fournette after the bye week. So, as always, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for your comments, your questions. You guys help make this show literally entertaining every week and make us think about things that we don't know. Like, we don't know everything. So you guys bring good points too to the table. That's why I try to get to all you guys' comment as much as I can. And as always, thank you guys. Catch you guys later. Any final words, James?
Keep the faith, everybody. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. Believe it or not, the players feel that energy. Keep the faith, y'all. They're gonna be good. Keep that faith.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can get this thing to turn off now with the mouse not working. Let's see if we can do this. Man, just turn the damn computer off.
It is what it is.
You can't make this up.
Hey, it's one of those nights.
That's it. All right, yo.